Hey, y'all, I'm in the kitchen, and Bobby and Linton is here, and Aunt Peggy's over there at the table. And Bobby, I'm so glad you're here because you know what I'm making? I am making these two children that your childhood friends, Suzette and Amy.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, they opened a restaurant in Thomasville, Georgia called Sass.
Mm-hmm.
And those girls have a reputation like you would not believe.
They always did.
People just rave over their food. Well, this is their Southern cornbread dressing with sausage.
Oh, yeah.
I have just scrambled up, Bobby.
Good.
Because their recipe is a pound of breakfast sausage. Now put a stick of butter in, and I'm fixing to chop these veggies up and cook those. So
it's a light dish.
Oh, no, this is Thanksgiving. This is Thanksgiving cornbread dressing in its finest.
Yep.
So anyway, my question to you is, do you remember when we took y'all to Atlanta to the
Six Flags?
Six Flags, yes. And Bob had brand new shoes on.
He got blisters, just blisters.
Yes. So tell that story. Tell that story. And hot.
The only reason that I remember it is because of the pictures that we kept. We are old. We lived in a time when people actually had cameras and took pictures that you had developed and you had to wait to see them.
Yeah.
And somewhere these treasures still exist. There are pictures of all of us at Six Flags together. And I was very young. And Amy was very young. And Suzette and Jamie are the same age, and Amy and I are the same age. But anyhow, judging by the pictures, I was about 5. So I don't remember that well. But I do know the story about Bob getting his blisters and his new loafers. That's my fault.
Only Bob would wear a pair of brand new loafers just out of the box because we had been to Richie's. And he had bought him a new pair of loafers. And I can see right now, we were walking around on that hot pavement, and he's tucked his shoes in, looking like this because the pavement is so hot. Oh my God.
So crazy.
He was crazy.
And he and Dad, they would go frog gigging. Do you remember them frog gigging?
Oh my gosh. And snakes would fall in the boat. I hated when they did that. All right, so I melted a stick of butter, Bobby.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to put my chopped onions in there.
Yeah.
And you want to hit on that celery a little bit more.
I remember.
Actually, there's supposed to be 2 sticks of butter, isn't it?
You got another stick over here that looks like it's
right there.
Out. I just had 2 sticks out.
There's 1 for the dressing, and there's, I think, 2 for the sausage.
Oh, yeah, I've already put the butter in there. Okay, so 2 sticks of something. Wait, let me see.
All of my memories with Suzette and Amy Dupuis revolve around laughter. Whenever I think of them, I think of us just uncontrollably laughing. And usually about our parents. and usually telling stories that...
All right, excuse me, son. It was 2 sticks.
Or laughing directly at our parents because they were just so crazy. It was a simpler place and time. Albany, Georgia in the 1970s. Leesburg, Georgia in the 1970s. It was just, even though we were pretty simple.
Didn't have no money.
Didn't have a whole lot. We had a lot of fun.
A lot of laughs.
Those are good girls, and I'm happy that they're successful.
Oh, Bobby. And they are so much better cooks than Susan and I. I mean, they are fabulous cooks. And they've got the Southern, and then they've got the Louisiana Heritage. Now I'm putting in some garlic, y'all.
Well,
with my onions. Yeah, so they've got 2 good, strong backgrounds in the culinary department. Mm-hmm. You can go ahead and add that to the onions, so it'll be fine.
God rest their mama's soul, because Susan Dupuis was just a card. And, so funny.
Oh my God.
So funny. The funniest story that I can remember about Susan Dupuy, I cannot tell with the camera rolling.
Oh, you can't.
I can't. But
Well, whisper to me what it was.
speaking of simpler place and time, I remember when we would go to the grocery store as a family. This was before I had a choice on whether or not I wanted to go to the grocery store. If the car went to the grocery store, then we were
gonna go spend the night with them in Leesburg. I'm gonna add a little bit more garlic because I'm afraid I didn't quite have enough.
The grocery store was always an adventure. And this was in a time, you might not believe it. If there's people out there that are my age, though, and older, you might remember. We'd be walking in the grocery store and people would just be smoking cigarettes while they were pushing there. And they would drop their cigarettes on the ground and just put them out with their foot and keep walking.
That's right.
And I remember just the aisles in the grocery store, just cigarette buzz all over the floor of the
Some grocery stores would actually have an ashtray, but most of them just encourage you to use the floor.
But Susan, can you imagine? But Susan, Aunt Peggy's over here, and she's just looking at me like she knows that it's all true. What do you want me to do next?
Just keep stirring it. We're gonna cook it till it's kind of translucent. So
All right, well, we're getting there. You got a good hot.
I'm chopping these green onions. You can add these onions and parsley to that now, son, please. Bobby, what we're fixing to do now is we're fixing to make the cornbread part of this.
All right.
And I've got my self-rising cornmeal, my self-rising flour, and I'm going to use my whisk and just whisk that up. I've got my 4 eggs. I've got a couple of tablespoons of oil.
There's a little cemetery over there by their old house in Leesburg. And we used to go over there at night while y'all were playing poker and doing your thing. We would all go over there and we would play this game called Light as a Feather. We would play. And
I don't remember what game was that.
Where you put your fingers under people while they're laying flat on the ground and you just lift them with 2 fingers, like a person on that side, person on that side, and you just lift them off.
Y'all were big kids.
We were just... God, it's all
light as a feather.
I haven't thought about any of that in a long time. But if Suzette and Amy happen to see this video, they will know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, listen, Bobby.
And peace, power to the people of the world. I don't know if you remember hearing that phrase, Jamie and Suzette. That was their little thing for...
Well, those girls just
we'd go
love
to Panama
y'all.
City. We went to Panama City back when Panama City was
not
what it is now. And it was just small little inexpensive motels.
Sphinx Motel.
The Fiesta. Remember staying at the Fiesta right there on the strip anytime?
Yes.
Oh, and that was our, it seemed like we were rich.
I know it, but we broke.
We just happened to live close enough to the Gulf of Mexico that we could go on a beach vacation.
It was like 3 hours from Albany to...
Yep, right there at it.
Oh, my gosh.
All right, well, that looks good.
Okay, son, that looks perfect.
Yep.
I'm going to take a little break and get cleaned up over here. So that is it. That's good. That is good, just raw. So I'm going to put this in the oven. I'm going to bake it for about 45 minutes. I'm going to take it out of the oven, let it cool for a minute. And then I'm going to get out my big killer pan and crumble it up. We're going to add our sausage. We're going to add our chicken stock. And we're going to add all of those wonderful sauteed vegetables. I love you, girls. Okay, so our cornbread is done and it's delicious. I could eat it just like that. All right, so in goes our vegetables that we sauteed. Get out spatula so I can get every bit of that
Goodness.
goodness. Yes, that's the goodness. This is the pot that we cooked the sausage in, and we only cooked it for 5 or 6 minutes, but it looks completely done in the drippings. So, because it's going to be cooking for a while longer. Oh my gosh. I think I have to start making sausage dressing. That breakfast sausage smells so good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now I'm going to start by adding our stock. And the girls say 3 to 4 cups. But I think I actually make mine a little bit more moist than them. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Like I said, I like my cornbread kind of moist. All right, was that 6?
That was 5.
5. Okay. So now I'm going to stir it. Oh yeah, it needs.
You got some eggs to go in it too.
Yeah, but I don't put the eggs in till last because I can't taste it. If it's got raw eggs in it, it makes me sick. So that definitely is not moist enough for me. So that's 6. And I think in my recipe that makes the same amount, I think I use 7 cups. So if you want it dry, use less liquid. But if you want it moist, use more. Yum-y. So I add a little bit more, so I'm going to put it all. And now I'm going to give it a taste and see what our flavor profile is. It's very good. Eddie, I didn't put any salt in this, but taste that. I don't think it needs a bit of salt. I think all I need to add is a little pepper. And I think it's good to go. So now that Eddie and I have tasted it, I'm going to beat up my, I'm going to beat up my eggs. Because I've just got an aversion to raw eggs, y'all. So I like to taste mine before I put my eggs in it. Okie doke. I'm going to get those up a little bit. And your egg is what makes it set and kind of puff. Oh yeah.
So you can go in and make this a day ahead of time and just bake it off.
But let me caution everybody, because out of all dishes that you can make ahead of time, dressing is the very thing that will sour in a minute. So you want to make sure that when you put all this together, that it's all at room temperature. And then you can put it in the refrigerator and bake it the next morning. But do not mix it together while it's hot and put it in the refrigerator, because if it's in a thick container and hot, it takes hours for that center to get cold, and it will sour. You'll have to throw it out and start all over again. So, like I said, you can see everything I had was at room temperature when I put it together. I had to throw out buckets of dressing at the restaurant. Yeah, I had to learn that the hard way, because I would make it and I would put it in bus tubs. Eddie, And oh my gosh, that broke my heart, but I had to start all over again. This is gonna make 2 pans, Eddie, which is great. And this freezes really, really well. Now, if I was gonna put this in the refrigerator, I would wait until in the morning to put my eggs in it. So there we go. That's a beautiful little pan of Thanksgiving cornbread dressing with sausage in the oven, 350, maybe 30 to 45 minutes. Okay, Mikey, this has gotten ready. This dressing has gotten ready just in time for me to feed Michael supper. Look at this. Now, y'all, I put the perfect amount of chicken stock in there for my taste. This is the consistency that my grandmother Paula taught me to make my dressing. So, I can't hardly wait. Oh, we're going to be a happy camper.
Good?
I got your fresh apple salad, roasted chicken, and dressing. So good. So, you want to taste it and
Sure.
tell them what you think about it?
Thank you.
You may want me to make sausage dressing every Thanksgiving instead of.
Well, that is good.
Isn't that good? So
I can give you
good.
sausage. Yeah.
Well, it's crumbled up in there. Buzzard.
That is good.
Isn't that good? And the Thanksgiving apple salad is so good. I hope y'all will try these recipes.
That's good too.
I know that Thanksgiving apple salad is in a custard rather than just mayonnaise. And it's fabulous.
I'll be back.
That's what I was afraid of. Love and best dishes, y'all.
Hey y'all, it's Paula Deen. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell to be alerted when I post a video. Love and best dishes, y'all.